Welcome everybody to In the Stiffs with me, Sam Aiston, my friend and Brackley manager, Gav Cowan, and Housewives' favourite, Dave Edwards. Woohoo! It's a new series.
Series 5?
4?
4.
5.
I thought we were counting down.
Have we started? Welcome everybody. We are back in the Stiffs series 5 kicking off. Excited about that, Dave?
Over the moon.
It's been a long time coming, Gav, hasn't it?
Yeah, lots of busy people, as in us three. It's taking some getting together.
What are the main barriers to us being consistent with the podcast?
Witz's availability.
Yeah, Witz's availability, yeah.
Yeah, he's very erratic in his communication. I'd say work.
Yeah, it is work, isn't it?
Yeah. Family get in the way, don't they? Being selfish.
It's work for me, isn't it? For you two, obviously, both you semi-retired. It's a little bit different, isn't it?
I should have more time in the winter. Less golf to be played.
Dave's
flat out this summer.
Yeah, Dave's golf is the biggest barrier to us doing well at the podcast.
Yeah. It's nice to be back though. Loving it. I've been looking forward to it all day.
Just let's start with the highlights that we've had recently. We had a golf day. Obviously, Dave organised most of that, didn't he, with the par 3 lads? Good day in the end, Dave.
It was. We had, how many golfers, Gav? 80, I think it's 84 golfers at Arscott Golf Club. And it was like a roaring success. Middle of September, sun was out, which made it. We were really worried about the weather. But the golf was really good. We had a party hole, so we had music all day, bit of nerves on that tee shot, a little par 3, and then rolled into the evening where we had a podcast. We had some special guests there as well. We will put a bit out on social media on that. We're not going to release the podcast because you need to come to the golf days if you want to hear these people speak. But no, it was really, really good.
And they were class guests as well, weren't they?
Yeah.
Like the some of the stories that they were telling.
Yeah, so we had Stephen Fletcher came, didn't they? Harry Burgoyne and Phil Jagielka.
Yeah, three great lads.
Yeah, really
I like
good.
this Phil Jagielka talking about Fabio Capello.
Yeah.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's what I like.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Speaking of golf then, I found that day quite inspirational, and since then, me and Gav have considered taking up golf, haven't we?
Yeah.
Although I'm being honest about it and saying that, I need to stop practicing. I've been to the driving range, I've done little bits. Gav's doing it on the sly.
No.
This is typical Cowan.
How many times you played this week, Gav?
17.
I know what he's doing because he knows I'm talking about it, but I'm not really committing to it, but I'm trying to get involved. But I know he knows that I'm
just
going to end up
because
being
you found out about it today doesn't mean I'm keeping it on the slide. Anyone who wants to know knows I went on Friday morning, that's it. And I went to the driving range with Wilson. That's
so
it.
what we're going to do is hopefully me and you will start playing a little bit. We're going to be good enough to get around.
We want to just try and get competent so Dave doesn't get frustrated with us on the way around. And as well, what I find is and it's a typical thing, when you're not very good at something, when I am walking around a course, I almost want to take the mick out of the sport and people competing in it, which is unfair. But it's obviously it's only just like an insecurity, isn't it? Because I'm like, right, I can't hit that ball where I want it to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make fun of the day. And I realise I've sort of almost been ruining it for other people, not just by my terrible shots and play, but actually I'm not taking it seriously. And people actually go to enjoy it by trying their best. So I'm like, okay, well, that's what I need to do. So yeah, I need to be competent at it. I need just to be able to, like you say, we just need to be able to go and have a round with Dave, and then, what I predict this time next year is we'll challenge the par 3 lads and we'll probably beat them.
Well, I definitely beat them.
Yeah.
It's getting so popular, isn't it? Obviously, you've got paddle, which is a version of tennis / squash, which is...
Gav's been practicing that on the sly, I think.
That's the fastest growing sport.
Shropshire champion.
But golf, since COVID, has gone through the roof. And if you don't play golf, and apologies to any partners who are listening to this, but it's a great way to get out of the house with your mates for 4 or 5 hours, have a drink in the clubhouse after, and you play golf. Whereas if you say, I'm going to go down the pub for 6 hours with the lads, different conversation, isn't it?
It is my only concern. You've got to be able to box off all your priorities first, because it's when do you get to play? 'Cause it's quite a selfish sport, isn't it? You're out there.
You're asking Dave when he gets to play Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Dave does
Can't play weekends.
He's got that golf course in his garden. That's another barrier for me.
It is.
It's like when you're there, it's a long time, isn't it? When we played on Friday morning, like I say, I'm hacking my way round, but I ended up playing 9 holes, and that was all right for me. Any more than that, I was ready for my egg sandwich after 9 holes.
Well, Dave, can you give me and Gav some tips then, and any wannabe golfers out there? Because there's 3 of us, we need a 4th, don't we, for golf?
Yeah.
I don't know what Wits is like. Average.
Yeah.
Give us some tips, Dave, for me, Gav, or any other beginners.
The first thing I say is get lessons early doors. I think if you play as a kid, you're at such an advantage because you naturally just get the rhythm of it, a little bit of technique. But as you try and take it on as an adult, you see people and they really struggle. They look so stiff doing it. But if you can get a lesson early doors and just get your grip right, little things like that, that will pay dividends.
You just described me there in one.
Is it expensive? Is it lessons expensive?
They can be.
What's a lesson? Is it like a driving lesson?
Yeah, it's anything between probably 30 and 50 quid, I'd say, for an hour's lesson.
Oh, depending on how good they are. 50 quid for an hour?
Yeah, probably even more than that.
Even more incentive, become a golf coach and make a right few quid.
I'd just do that instead.
Yeah. Love that.
But do that and then, get out and hit as many balls as possible. Driving range, out on the course.
Do you know what I found? Wilson wanted to go to the driving range last Sunday, which I was obviously over the moon with. But when we got there, performed quite well. But you're on that little bit of Astro, that little bit of
easier to hit off.
It is easier, isn't it? And then I sort of got to the course on Friday, and although I'll be honest, it did help massively. It's easier hitting it off that tee,
especially when this time of year when the ground starts to go a bit soft. Because on the Astro, your club will bounce off it, whereas if it's wet ground, it just goes.
Biggest tip for me. When the reason why I performed probably a tad better, so still miles off it, but a tad better than I ordinarily would, my practice swings. So what I would do is I would just go up, just try and smash it. Whereas now I'm trying to concentrate on my grip, on my stance. I'm trying to look at where my feet are.
That's some right lessons here, isn't it?
It's a joke, isn't it, mate? He's trying so hard, isn't he?
Well, I'm going to win the Open next year. I've got to start and get on it. So I've realised sometimes I take 4 practice swings to get comfortable and find that little spot on the floor. But then it might be one, and I'm like, oh my God. And then I hit this approach shot. Oh my God, I wish they recorded it. It was unbelievable. I mean, the one before I lost the ball completely. And I did go in the water on the second hole as well after having a really good first hole. But yeah, that was a big thing for me, the practice swings. Really helped me out.
But we're going to have another golf day next year, aren't we?
Yes.
And if you're into your golf, or even if you're not and you want to come for a few beers afterwards, it was such good fun. I'm not just saying that because we organised it, but it was. I've been to loads of golf days and that was the best by far.
Well, it was a golf day with a difference, wasn't it? It wasn't like your typical, which again, for me, it like you said, Sam, it sort of inspired me a little bit, or inspired me and you, didn't it? Because it was like, actually, you can have a bit of fun with this. It doesn't have to be so rigid and so middle class and so you just got to be, blinkers on. I found the day was enjoyable because everybody wanted to do well. But there was like you say, you had the party hole. Then everybody sort of stayed for a few beers after, and there was a few things on the way round, like little challenges and stuff, weren't there? It was a really good day. So it's probably that got me thinking, and I know Sam the same. But I think, do you know what? I could take this up. I could enjoy this maybe.
Why didn't we play when we were younger? It's annoying, isn't it?
That's the key.
It's ridiculous. When did you start, Dave?
It's pub life, wasn't it?
I played a lot as a kid, from the age of probably 10 till about 14, 15. So I started to get serious football
or something.
I think it's a middle class sport because again, growing up, no one I knew growing up that golf to me was seen as something that was not accessible. It was like we would every now and again someone would come over with one club and go, I've got 3 golf balls here, let's try and smash them over the field. That's probably the best. I never knew anyone who played golf.
Well, my uncle played a lot, and then my dad enjoyed golf as well. So they'd play, and then I grew up on a farm, so literally go to the fields and just whack balls everywhere, get dad's clubs.
So you always played then?
I did, and then
before football.
Yeah, and I still played when I started playing football, but not as much. And then I started to really get into it when I was about 23, 24 again. But then I had a stress fracture in my back, and they said to me, "Do not play golf; it's the worst thing." So then I completely stopped until COVID, when I was back at Shrewsbury. My back had been fine for a few years, and I thought, I'll stuff it. But I got the bug bad though.
And as always, it's the same with left-footed players in football. Yeah. You're a lefty, aren't you?
I am.
You just look aesthetically brilliant. You do look really good playing golf.
Yeah, there's not many lefties, is there? You see on the golf course.
Are you left-handed?
Left-footed. No. I'm left-footed. I'm not sure what hand I am. Are you left-footed? Yeah. I'm still trying to work it out.
You're left-footed, right-handed for golf, and you're right-footed, left-handed with golf. What am I dealing with here? How weird are you both?
Yeah, very strange. Yeah, I'm not sure yet what hand I am because when it comes to golf, because I'm trying both and they're both all over the shop.
It's a shame that we haven't got into it earlier, but golf is so serious for footballers. Who's been the best golfer you've played football with?
I think Jags is good.
What's Jags playoff?
He plays off about 4 or 5, which is good. Stephen Fletcher's the same. He's off about that. Who else have I played with? Jamie O'Hara, very good golfer. Yeah, he's really good. He plays off scratch.
Wow.
Does he?
I think he might play off like 1 or 2 now, but he has been down as low as scratch.
So what's scratch then?
That's like par. So he's expected to go around in level par.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's where I want to be for the golf tournament next year.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I want to beat that.
I think when we were at I've told you this before, when we were at Sunlight, they were so serious with the golf, like the more serious about the golf than training. Like when I was at Sunlight, like, oh no, like Kev Phillips and that, like Kev Phillips was an amazing golfer, there was loads of them. And we used to have golf days and it was like so serious. Like we'd be messing about on the buggies and they'd be like, shh, quiet off you can't speak off the tee and all that. And
can't talk about...
took training serious, might not have got relegated.
You can't talk about golf buggies and Chris Skitt and me in the same... He'll have to come on and tell the story and I nearly run him over.
And his clubs.
And his clubs, yeah. His brand new clubs. Yeah, just run him over. Again, just not taking it... It's childish. Just being childish and not taking it seriously just because you're not very good at it. So, if I'm not very good at it, I'm going to ruin it for everyone else. I'm going to spoil it for everyone. Yeah, and I'd had a pint as well. So I thought, right, everyone's getting it.
But I would say it's one thing footballers I think takes really seriously. It's the only thing footballers take seriously.
Yeah. So I'm changed my whole attitude around it, and I like you say, the inspiration has been that day.
Me and you then, little challenge, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're having the right go though, aren't you? Like, it's annoying me. I feel a bit annoyed.
But that's what annoys me about people at golf. They take it serious and they have a go, and my ego doesn't like that. Whereas now I'm going, right, I'm going to get on board with this. So we do it together.
Yeah.
100%.
Lessons.
Yeah.
Can you not give us lessons, Dave?
I can help. I wouldn't say I'm an expert, but I could help. I could see a few little things.
Dave said he'll give us lessons.
If we strolled up and we didn't mess about
quid. Dave said 40 quid. No,
I'm quite cheap.
I'll give you 5% discount.
Dave's like, well, I won't give you that. I will help for 25 quid each. Yeah.
Right.
So if we turned up like proper, no messing about, like we want to have a go here.
Yeah.
Right. When we're doing this then? You two are off on holiday tomorrow.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome to In the Stiffs Golf Podcast. New Series 5, isn't it? New slant on it.
We talk about everything, don't
different direction, aren't we?
Yeah.
Golf's in at the moment, so trying to ride the wave.
Moving on from that, what have we been up to? Gav, we're going to start with you. Life as a football manager in the National League. How's it going so far?
Yeah, good. Obviously.
Well done, by the way.
Thank you, mate.
For podcast listeners, well done. Promotion last year.
Yeah,
won
good.
The league.
Amazing. Yeah, amazing
Champions.
for everyone at the club. What's brilliant about that is like for me, obviously being a part of it, it's 2 years in the making. But obviously everybody at the club, they've been trying for about 10 years. So like playoffs, like failed in the semi-final playoffs, playoff finals.
What's been missing previously that they've heard?
There is a common denominator here somewhere, but no, I don't want to say. But no, so it was amazing for me and a massive relief, a lot of euphoria. But for everybody attached to the club, it was massive, And like when you think about the owner, Alan's been, bankrolling the club for so long, and now they've become quite sustainable in their own right. And then all the people that give up their time. So it's for me to see that firsthand has been great. And then obviously going into the National League it's a completely new experience.
Step up, massive step up.
Huge, yeah. And I think yes, there's ability wise, I think it's not actually a massive step when you think about there's definitely a conditioning thing. I mean, all of them lads now, they're like athletes, absolutely.
And all the teams are full-time, aren't they? So you're still not.
Yeah, so it's just us. I think Tamworth go in an extra day, I'm not sure, but they're, we're the only part-time team. So they may be close to it. I know their manager's full-time, but yeah, it's a challenge because, again, we played recently in the FA Cup and it's probably the hardest, sort of the most intense it's been because we played Woking on a Saturday. We drew 1-1 away. That was a real emotional game because it felt like the game was stolen away from us a little bit. So there's quite a lot of commotion going on in the game. But then you've got from Tuesday to turn it over. And speaking to Neil Ardley, who's an absolute class act, by the way, their manager, he was saying they were in on Monday for like 2 hours. Obviously, they're on the grass and they're game strategies.
Woking in the National League as well?
Yeah, the same league, yeah.
But that's what you've got, I suppose, when you're professional. Monday.
Oh no, it's a professional league. There's not you won't see any difference between going to Shrewsbury Town and going to Hartlepool. I mean, it's literally like it's the National League now. is when I played in it, it was probably about 14, 15 teams that were full time. Now it's the whole thing, and you can tell when you're arriving to get like DAZN. All the games are on DAZN or DAZN, whatever everyone wants to call it. It's sponsored by Enterprise. There's been a massive cash injection. They're driving it forward, and you can just see from around the grounds, advertising, the lead ups, all the promo. It's
the difference to when we were in the conference, Sam.
Yeah,
like that felt like non-league, didn't it?
That's why it was such a mismatch, wasn't it, with us, because we were like professional. We went some places and it was like
say that loosely, professional.
Yeah. Well, we were getting paid, and I didn't have another job.
Oh yeah,
if that's what we mean professional as. But yeah, it's so different now. Well, even National League North, but the teams that are in there.
We were saying the other day, there's 8 full-time teams in the National League North and 12 in the National League South. It's frightening, and these lads are, they're dedicating everything to it.
Like half decent money, aren't they?
I was saying there, from Saturday to Tuesday, Neil Ardley's been on the grass for 2 hours. I was doing a Zoom call on Monday night with the lads, just trying to going with a digital thing, sharing the screen and going, look, this is how we're going to do it out of possession. And fair play to the lads.
So from that game on the Saturday to the game on the Tuesday, the replay was that quicker turnaround. You had no time with the lads on the grass at all, apart from a Zoom call.
No.
Oh, that
and actually,
how did you get on?
We won 6-2. Yeah, it was a good night.
Alex saw this.
I said that, flipping it. It was stuff, all this full-time stuff. Yeah, but over the course of the season, we know we're going to have to be really diligent, and then it makes my job even more important in terms of game strategies, watching games back. I do have an analyst who supports, which is brilliant, but I've got to see it for myself, of course. So he offers up things like set pieces and anything that I may miss. So we try and do like a little bit of a filter system, but lads are brilliant. They're so receptive. And if I'd have called them in on a Monday night, it'd have been brilliant. But when you've got lads coming from Manchester, Leicester, Northampton, they're coming from everywhere. Don't want to bring them in on a Monday. It's almost detrimental. Yeah. So you're like, right, okay, what we've done is we've tried to revolutionise it. So we're saying, look, on a Monday and a Friday, you will be expected to do X, Y and Z conditioning-wise. Because what's ended up happening, I'll try and cut it as short as possible, but back in the day, like, you got full-time and it's work hard, play hard. Then you had part-time, or semi-pro if you like, even amateur, where they were like, we'll train once a week, pint on a Friday, see you Saturday. Now what's happened is there's so much around, and there's so much caution around like their conditioning and injuries and stuff. What's happened is that they've brought that down on the grass. As it's not as intense as what it used to be in terms of like, you go in on a Tuesday, no game on a Tuesday, Wednesday off, you're running your nads off, aren't you, on a Tuesday. That's sort of gone out the window a little bit now, as far as I can tell. So they have a little bit less time on the grass, a lot more rehab stuff. But then what's happened with the semi-pro, or even now, like the National League, the part-time teams, what they're doing is they're training twice a week, but then what we're trying to do is revolutionise it by saying, well, a Monday and a Friday, you will be expected to do some work and you'll have to report it in, which they do.
You can record what they do. Obviously.
So we're recording it via their GPS, and they send it all in, and as the physio, head of medical, he's sorting it out, he's recording everything, so we're staying on top of it. So actually, conditioning-wise, we're now hitting like 105 to 109 in terms of collective, like the group, which is like probably what Shrewsbury will do. That might be wrong. They might be higher than that. But
is it 105, 109 like kilometres
a game collectively? Which is really high. So that's what we're doing. So actually, what we're needing to do is really recover them away from it. So then when they come with me, they know it's intense because it's on the grass, and we're having to do everything contained at the ground. So we don't have a training ground as yet. But there's big plans for the club to move forward, and they've got, a lot of things that they want to, we want to move forward and do going into next year. But it's, it's come a lot closer. So we're trying to just revolutionise it. It makes me sound clever. That's not the case. But we're trying to bring it closer by going, right, we want to cut out your travel. We want to cut out, some of that intensity. And we just want you'll go away and do this, and we trust you to do it. So
trust is key, isn't it?
They take responsibility and they send it all in, which is brilliant. And like you say, the trust element is massive, and it's working for us. So we just got to try and stay on top of it. We were doing really well, probably better than we started the expectation, and then we had a bit of a poor week where just fine margins where. You lose 3 in a row in 1 week, and it's like, should have won that one, could have drawn that one, should have won that one. So yeah, we're on a bit of a tough end. And then on Saturday we drew with Gateshead, but had a man sent off after 7-8 minutes. So in in the circumstances, we did all right. So it's been a good start considering. We got to the first round of the FA Cup against Notts County at home as well, which will be live on TV. So as a whole, you know, if you'd have said, would you take this? But I think we'd have probably...
Well, as the only non-league team, you'd expect to be relegation fodder, wouldn't you, right from the start? And you're not in that picture at the moment, are you? So it's been a real positive start.
And there's been a lot of growth between pre-season and where we are now. I always know that there's a building process with the team. And with our conditioning, we like to go, right, okay, from January, we just need to stay in the mix. And from January, we normally, you know, really push down on the pedal. It's what's happened the last 2 seasons, and that's what we try to do.
What about from the personal aspect of being a manager then? Stressful?
And it's funny, isn't it? Because like when I played, when you'd watch TV, and even like I used to watch Chelsea, obviously being a QPR fan, and a defender would go and pass it back, he'd get cut out, and they'd lose 1-0, and you just like... I wouldn't even celebrate. I'd be like, oh, I've been there. Like, that's horrendous. And so when you see managers suffering, you understand like what you're going through in the week. So even you have that empathy to each other in the technical area. You know, it's like, I know what you've been doing this week. I've been doing the same. Like, hopefully I've been doing more than you, and that'll culminate on the pitch. But
yeah, you understand because you're in the shoes. It's like being a head teacher, and other head teachers, you empathise with them, don't you? So you know, like if your opposite numbers lost 3 on the bounce or something, you're like stood there going... Yeah, in there, mate.
Oh, well, speaking to Neil Ardley after the Woking, obviously we beat him 6-2, and he just looked lower than a snake's belly. So just had half an hour chatting with him, just going flipping out like, next week you'll be flipping top of the world again. And the job of a manager is so intense, and it's so, like I say, we're flying, and literally from Saturday to Saturday, we lost 3. And it's like, what?
Well, it was like, yeah.
And we're playing well. We're
on the bounce, isn't it? In 8 days.
Yeah.
Just spoke to you, and it's like, how rubbish is football? You're gone from thinking... This is easy. 8 days later, you've lost 3 on the bounce, and you suddenly go, what's happening?
The margins in them games, we played Wealdstone. We didn't deserve anything out of that game, in my opinion. And it's probably the one game I think we've been off it. But the other 2, we could have easily have won it. Like, and it's the margins are so fine. So it's very stressful.
How do you cope on a Saturday night then? If lost.
If I've lost,
so what happens? So you lose on the Saturday. What happens in the dressing room?
I try not to get too emotional with it.
Lose your head with the lads.
No, tea everywhere. Tea everywhere, yeah. Grab people around the throat. No, I try not to get too emotional. I try and just be honest with the players from what I felt at the moment, but I try not to lose my rag or anything like that. And again, ultimately, if you've been beaten, but they're trying to do everything that you're asking them to do, there's not a lot you can say. You know, it's just been one. You know, in football, it's precarious, isn't it? So one week you can play unbelievably well and lose, and the next you can, you know, be poor and win the game. So it's very rare. We have like what we call a minimum. We have what we call our process, and we talk about trust in that process, and within that, it's a game strategy in and out of possession in all 3 phases of the pitch, and we have a mantra. It's on the wall. The lads know it. It's like basically a glossary of vocabulary, and understanding that we can all predict the future on how we're going to play. If they've hit the minimum requirements of that, which are without the ball, hard work, desire, do a job and a half. With the ball, be efficient, be reliable, and commit. If they're the minimum requirement, that's what you can control.
If they do that.
If you do that and we get beat, this is life. Because every time I ask you, play forward, run forward, is a calculated risk going to get cut out. You're going to, you know, there's going to be times where Lowy, my centre forward, is going to score a hat-trick, you know, and he's, you know, probably touched the ball 3 times. There's going to be times where, you know, Hartley pulled away. You know, he's in on goal a yard out, and he can't move his feet quicker, hits the post, you know, he draw 0-0. Yeah. You can't get too emotional with that. You can only, for me, you can demand the controllables and you can reinforce the uncontrollables. And I think we've got that mantra that we drive, and the players have been really good at that. And the only time I'll lose my rag if I see people not with those controllables, like not working hard, not showing desire, not doing a job and a half. That's when I have to go,
What's worse when you've played well and like you've done everything right and you've lost, or is it worse when like you as a manager you've got something wrong? What's the worst feeling after the game?
If you let your team down.
If you think you
yeah. And that's why, again, I think as a player as well, I was probably more focused on pleasing my teammates than I was the manager. That's something I'd change. Because obviously you want to please your teammates, but ultimately you're playing for the manager and he makes the decisions. But as a manager, the thought of letting my players down, and I ask that of them as well. I say, like, as staff, we're presenting everything on the table for you to go out and be the best version of yourself. Now, if I get something wrong, I'm like, flipping out, that's horrendous. Yeah. But for them, we ask the same in return. Just try not to let your teammates down. Try not to let the staff and the club down by implementing what we've got as a clear structure. So we don't play hope football. we play very strategic. And then we say to him, 10% is your instinct. So 90% is our game strategy, 10% is your instinct.
As a player, though, like, you can lose, can't you, 3-1, but you're still happy because you played well. That's different. Isn't it?
A manager.
Or you've got man of the match and you go, you're all right, aren't you? Like, you obviously won. The ideal scenario is you win and you play really well, but you'd rather your team sometimes lose and you play well yourself individually, because if
I've had games, and you'd have had games as well, where you 1-0 down, you haven't played well, you're the one who gets dragged off, and you go and win 2-1. Everyone's buzzing, but yourself, you feel
you're devastated. And the manager's going, the changes made, the substitutions made the difference, and that. And you're like, great. I'm looking forward to the team sheet coming out next week.
Whereas a manager, if you lose, it's
everything.
You haven't played, like, you've done everything you possibly can.
And no one cares how you play. No one cares.
Well, this is my thing recently. We obviously Saturday we drew with Gateshead, and really, it's an unbelievable point. It's an unbelievable point, really. Woking went down to 10 men with us in midweek, and we spanked them 6-2. I know it's not like completely relative, but 0-0 after with 7 minutes extra time, 90 minutes. The players have kept a clean sheet. We should have won the game. We've had more chances as well. So credit to the staff. We came up with a brilliant game strategy. The players implemented it. Fantastic. But I know that who's going to look back in 2-3 weeks? That's a draw. It's still 1 point where we feel like we wanted 3 points from that game. So it's hard. It is hard. It's a very intense.
It's ruthless, isn't it?
Ruthless job.
And you've taken this season as well a podcast guest of ours a few seasons ago, Jack Price, haven't you as well? How's he got on? Because obviously he's had a couple of years not playing football, hasn't he? Because he had a really bad Achilles injury in Colorado, trying to find his way back into football, I suppose, and you took a chance on him.
Yeah, it was an interesting conversation. At the start, I was actually on holiday with my family in Florida, and as soon as I started speaking to him, I knew I wanted to work with him, because I know we had him on the podcast, but even in that moment, he was just so like, I'm open to it, and I was like, okay, well, listen, I don't want to embarrass myself. Like, he's a well-known, very good footballer who's played much higher than the level, but look, you played 10 games in 3 years. What? Not his fault. He's been injured. He's had to take time off to give his body a rest. It was either going to be make me look an absolute fool or a genius. And when he first come in, pre-season, he looked brilliant. We had to manage him. He's had a couple of niggles that we've held him back. So opposed to him going, I can't. We've held him back. Because again, I know with other players, we've built them up. So we've built them up, and then a little bit we had to throw him in, probably a bit ahead of time of what we thought. And that was probably about 7 or 8 games ago, and I'd say he's arguably been in our top 3 players. I mean, he's making me look like a genius, because it's because he
must be playing well.
Yeah, he must be playing overly well. But he in terms of the decision, because he's in his flow now. So he's got his body, he's rid of all that. Pray to God it doesn't come back and bite me on the backside. But he's just, with the way we play as well, he's perfect and ideal for the way we play. So just really, really comfortable on the ball, brave, makes other players brave, is trusted by the other players, makes them trust each other.
As an experienced lad as well, who's played, say, at a level, that must help the dressing room as well.
Yeah, I think we've got a great dressing room as it is, but I think when you have someone like him, he's just, you can't not like him. So he's really likeable character, excellent leader, excellent competitor, incredible in terms of talent-wise. And do you know what? I think the best thing for him, and he'll be able to tell us, or tell you more, but he just looks like he's really enjoying himself. He looks like he's flourishing in the environment. I think he was surprised. He said it to me. He got there and he's surprised about how we've created such a professional environment, and he likened it to being better than Colorado. Which what he said pre-season. So I just said to him, "Well, just reserve that thought for now, and let's see what it's like towards the middle of the season." But
it's good to hear. He's such a good lad, isn't he?
I think he's enjoying himself.
Well, isn't it? Football, it is amazing, though, like all the money and everything like that. It's if you're confident and you're playing well and you're enjoying your football,
feel appreciated, feel valued. It's brilliant, isn't it? Going to work, even going to work, isn't it? Playing the games. So good luck to him.
And he's just such a brilliant pro as well. So, like you say, with us being part time, he's managing his body. He's in the gym every day. He's, luckily we've got Skitty and Az down at Motum, so he's in there every day. They've got their set up down at Battlefield, which is impressive. But it's got everything down there for someone to either recover or to rehabilitate or to build themselves up. So
he's still treating his football career is full time. Do you know what I mean? He lives like a professional footballer.
Yeah, and I think with the way we play, that's what's helped him massively. I think the way we play, he really fits into that.
So you feel positive about the season ahead?
Well, you hope so, yeah. Like you say, this is football, isn't it?
Injuries, whatever.
I'd like to think with the squad that we've got, keep everyone in the building. You know, if some of them have to fall by the wayside to bring in even better, we will have to do that, of course, because that's what we're there to do.
What's the ambition? What's the
stay in the league? Stay in the league. Internally, we have our own thing, but you know, to the rest of the world, if you stay in that, it's an absolute miracle, really. You know, for us to, and we feel like we can do it. So, no problem.
Love it.
Dave, moving on to Shrewsbury. Been to watch Shrewsbury Town much?
Yep.
Thoughts?
Well, they've just picked up now, which is good. Start the season, I thought they assembled a squad which could surprise a few, and they could be in and around the sort of top 6. But I've always said, right from the end of last season, this year's just got to be about consolidation. Make sure that you're a decent enough League 2 team. You're not going to get roped into the relegation stuff, because the last 2 teams who finished bottom of League 1 have gone down again in Carlisle and Forest Green. So there's a reason for that happens. So I just didn't want Shrewsbury to get roped into that. And the start they've had, like, form and momentum is a real thing. And when you don't know how to win a game of football, you go into every single match as a fan base, as a player, as a manager, thinking, how on earth are we not going to lose this game?
And as soon as you concede, you're so used to losing, you concede, and everybody, even if it's subconsciously, you think,
but it was they've had an awful start to the season, haven't they? Like, awful. But last 3 games, got 3 clean sheets, won the last 2. Like, got themselves out of the relegation zone, and they've got some games coming up now as well, which are all teams in the bottom half before a really hard run over Christmas. So hopefully they can just keep pulling themselves away, get to that sort of mid-table mediocrity, and then just keep building.
A bit more, because I went early on the season, and there's just like no. I mean, I say it all the time, like, there's no like excitement, or there's no pace, there's no flair, and like they've got a few other lads coming in now, and hopefully,
fingers crossed, because it can be. You see crowds starting to dwindle a little bit, and it's hard. Like, if you're not winning, you're losing. You're not scoring the first goal. You're not scoring enough goals anyway. You want a little bit of excitement, and
if you lose 1-0 at home and 2-0 at home, it's boring. Like,
I speak to people who would always go to games now. Like, I'm not sure. I might go. See what the little ones want to do. More often than not, the little ones don't want to go. And that's a worrying place to be. But hopefully, as soon as you're winning games of football, then everything changes.
Yeah, and get some excitement, and get a few some exciting players for the kids to like.
They have got a few there now. Say that.
They have,
Cabby, the lad from Arsenal, he's exciting. McDermott's a good player. The lone players are always going to be key this season. They seem to have some good experienced lads in there as well, like good characters, which I think will help them out. Defensively looking better. So fingers crossed they can kick on.
Last team to touch on, Dave, Wolves.
Oh, man.
Going down. You can't say that. Can he?
This is the most worried I've been, though. Definitely. Since they've been back in the Premier League.
Because the 3 that have come up are like, a little bit.
Just question, though, Dave. Can Wolves fans expect any different, considering they've lost all of the players, and have they really reinvested or been given enough to reinvest? I mean,
the thing is,
being realistic,
it's a self-sustainable model. They want to sell to buy players at sort of what they call a mid-range price, low to mid-range, develop them, let them play for a couple of years, then sell them. You end up always selling your best players, which is a problem. When you look at the players Wolves have had, their all-time Premier League 11 would be incredible, the amount of players they've had, but obviously they've all left now.
Dave Edwards would be
this time last year, they had a terrible start under Gary O'Neill, but I always thought that they would get out of it because they had goals in the team. Like Cunha, Nori. I thought they just had goals, and hardest thing to do in football is score, and Wolves could do that. They just were conceding loads and looked unorganised. Whereas this season, they haven't got the goals. Which that's why it worries me. I feel like as a squad, they're decent, they're competitive, but I think the teams that have come up are a lot better. I went to watch them against Leeds at home. Leeds were the better team by a mile. They by a long way better team, especially first half. They just played Sunderland this weekend, and I wouldn't say Sunderland were the better team. It's quite an equal game, but they took their chances. They've got momentum, like we're talking about.
Sunderland to win that.
They've had a great start to the season, and even though Sunderland didn't play well, they did enough to win the game. And Wolves didn't really create any chances. And this podcast will go out after what is a huge game against Burnley at Molineux.
The Burnley don't score a lot.
Yes, that's massive. But Vita Pereira, he'll be under a bit of pressure. I think they won 6 on the bounce last year when he came in. And since then, I think he's played 12 games and picked up 3 points.
How mental is it though? You win 6 on the bounce
in the Premier League.
Genius, and everybody's like, oh, he should be here. The next thing you know, you're hanging on to your job.
Changes so quickly.
It's like what Ryan Lowe said to me. He's like you're only like 5 or 6 games from the sack all the time.
Yeah.
It's mental, isn't it? It's such a bizarre job, isn't it? There can be nothing like it. Kind of the highs and the lows. And
I think there's 8 in the National League have gone already.
Really?
8 managers in the National League, yeah.
I mean, it's like Postecoglou, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah.
You think
6
like
games.
you make a decision on like after 6 weeks, and you think what has happened there? You know, and I know it makes me laugh when they say, "Oh, you know, if they win the cup, you'll stay." Surely, if he's the right man and he's putting the right things in place, whether you win that one game shouldn't make a difference, should it? But
I always think, like you say, from my experience of being involved in football clubs, and certainly as a coach and a manager, I always look at it and I think if you get too emotional with like the best saying in football is it's a long season, but if you get too emotional with results, I think that's when you'll get a club and it will catch up with them and they'll get relegated, or you know they'll fall on tough times. I think at the start of the season you've got to set some targets away from results, because ultimately there's always a process to getting the outcome, isn't there? And I think, yes, of course, name of the game, 3 points, absolutely, it's the be all and end all, but there's got to be a process to that. If you haven't got a process to those 3 points, that's when, for me, managers should come under scrutiny. If they've got, I remember Dean Smith being at Aston Villa, and it was really disappointing to hear, because I think they'd gone 5 and they'd lost 5 on a spin, and they'd set some targets out at the start of the season with Dean Smith, the manager, technical director, chairman, owner, all of the above, and it was like, right, this is what we're going to do in terms of our system. The players are going to cover this much ground. We're going to get these amount of penalty area entries. In a game situation, these are the first, second contacts we're going to get. Brilliant. If we're hitting them stats, we know as a rule of thumb over the course of the season, we're going to get to where we want to get to. Now, obviously, that is precarious based on results, or whatever. And they lost 5 in a row. They're always in the game. But obviously then confidence is low and they reacted and they sacked him. And I always felt really disappointed by that, because when they reverted back to their stats, I think he's on a podcast saying this, they'd hit all of their targets. So they'd all agreed collectively what they were going to do and they'd hit their targets, but just the fine margins had led to 5. Now that is football, isn't it? Yeah. If you're not hitting your targets that you know, look, what is it going to take for us to get 3 points? We know we're going to have to cover this amount of ground. But equally, you have to make that relative, because sometimes we'll play what some people will call a low block in terms of a counter-attacking game. So we'll cover less distance because we've turned the pitch into half a pitch. So you're not now running 20 yards, you're running 10 yards to get to the ball. So we know that the distances will be lower. But I just think that there is where the game's gone. They're not looking at the process. They're just very emotional about.
And it's like, it's pressure from fans, because you expect fans to be that, like, Arnie Slot now is getting hammered, isn't he, for his tactics and his management. Like, he's the worst manager in the world now, all of a sudden, and you go, well, he's the best manager. Like, was it 4 weeks ago? But that's when you need the owners to go, right, like, that's your job as the owner, is not to listen to all the fans, to look at what's happening in the building, isn't it, and get feedback. And we don't know about Postecoglou. The feedback from the lads could have been, he's all over the place, it's not happening. But if you're hearing good things about in the building, you've got to say, like, I'm trusting this person.
But it's tough to even get feedback from players, because if you're playing every week and you're the captain, you're going to go, yeah, Poch, he's quality. Yeah, he's legend. If you're not in the squad, you'll go, ain't got a clue what he's talking about. Yeah. I just think you have to have some tangibles that you can go, right, what's our target? What do we, let's look at past. Yeah. Where do we normally get a result? Right, okay, we beat so-and-so 3-1. We went on a free game. Okay, what were the main factors? And I think that's where the game's gone, because the Nottingham Forest chairman, he's not going down and looking at the stats, is he? I wouldn't imagine.
He's just gone, we've lost.
You can't get emotional with results, because again, if he'd have left Nuno in there, or he'd have left Poch in there, truth is, it's a long season, and form, like you say, comes around, and then okay, so what can we invest in? Let's take the players out for a meal. Let's take them for a couple of drinks. Let's get them forgetting about football, but getting a bit of togetherness. Let's start going a little bit old school and trying to affect different areas around them. Okay, well, if they're not fit enough, let's get them fitter. I don't know. I think we get too emotional with results.
It's so brutal, isn't it? Because you see someone lose 3 or 4 on the spin, and you're going, like, you just know, you're thinking that because they know and everybody knows. And you say about, like, trying to get managers to, like, invest in academies and young. It's like, you haven't got time. No. It's pointless. Like, no
bloody youngsters in the team.
I'm building a club, because you're thinking, I've got 6 weeks really, and this is why I need to get some results. Or I've won 3, drew 1. I'm all right. I've got another couple of months. Then
Feels like it'll never happen. Like what Fergie did at United, what David Moyes did at Everton first time round, where they can start just to bring.
How long were they at the club before they could start looking?
Exactly.
At that? I mean, and again, with the greatest respect to them, Fergie didn't go. He was involved in every element of the club, wasn't he? It doesn't really happen as much now because it's so sort of compartmentalised. But when you look at it, like those 7 lads from the class of '92, was it 7?
Well, six of the big, like most famous ones.
Yeah. So those from class of '92. He didn't get them from he would have known of them when they were 12, 13, 14. He knows of them, but he's not spending all of his waking hours concentrating on them. He's focusing on winning he's got staff in the background doing it. But whether he's the manager or someone else, there's still blood in those players. They're still developing them. He's not spending his time doing that. But then obviously if he's then bringing them up to the first team and he's going, he'll put them in there if he thinks he's good enough. But people get this idea that it's like, you've got to go and look at the 15 and 16-year-olds because the 15s have won the FA Youth Cup. And it's like, unless there's a Wayne Rooney in there, I'll go and watch the FA Youth Cup final. But why would I?
Could be 3 managers by the time they're ready to play the first team.
That ain't going to happen.
It's really difficult, isn't it? It's a brutal. And people might listen to the podcast and go, "Oh, well, they get paid and all that." It's like. Just think the pressure. It's like what Roy Hodgson was doing it at like 72. Like Mrs. Hodgson must be like, "What are we doing here?" You're on the sideline shouting, and he's getting abused and all that. Hey,
my Holly's already saying to me, "Like, we done yet?" Or
what are you doing?
Just getting going.
It's horrible, isn't it? It's horrible, and
and you do stand there sometimes in the technical area and go, "God, what am I doing here?"
Why am I putting myself through this?
But again, when you can't get too emotional with them moments in time. You've got to look at the bigger picture and go, right, we've got 3 years here. What are we doing? What's the goal? Right, okay, we've got to stay in the league this year. Already we've surpassed it because we've got to the first round of the FA Cup. So straight away, a big cash injection for the club, I would presume. I'm not sure what it is, but you'd like to because it's going to be on TV.
You're going to try and get a cut of that.
Oh, yeah. I've been right into the hierarchy, yeah. I think they said I can have a new mug.
That Marinakis is a character, though, isn't he?
Well, that's one way of describing him. Yeah.
I did a game when they played West Ham. They lost 3-0 or 3-1 at home earlier in the season. But the press box there is right behind where he sits, and he has got a screen, must be 100 inches. And it's just his chair and this big screen in front of him, and then obviously the game over the top of it. So he's just sitting there just watching the game. I've never seen anything like it. There's no one within 5 yards of either side, and he's just got this huge widescreen TV with the game on. Is he
got a football background in that, right? What?
I don't know.
Because I think some of these owners, it's crazy as well. Like, not necessarily know much about football, so they're going to be fans. So they're going to you lose 3 on the bounce, and they're just going to pull the trigger, aren't they?
Over the years, I've known a few players who have played for Forest and stuff, and they love him. But obviously, that must be financially.
Yeah, I love him. Oh, what are you doing at the end of the month? He's taking Vegas. Class, yeah.
I heard, is it Harry Toffolo, the left back? He used to play for Forest. I heard him on Sky Sports News this morning, and they're obviously asking questions because it's really current at the moment as we record this. And they're asking him what he thinks. He's like, me and my family got so much to thank him for. So obviously, must have obviously been paid well for when he was there.
I don't think Postecoglou.
My favourite thing
about him.
Have you heard the story this week when Ange just sort of walked off the pitch? Grabbed his keys and just walked out and went straight into his car and was gone, because when he looked up he saw that he wasn't in his seat about half an hour before the end of the game, so he knew whether he'd had a message or something. I don't know how true that is. It's just someone in the office said that apparently he just went in, picked his bag and his keys up and just walked out.
See you lads.
Cheers lads, smell you later.
I've done games there last year, so when you do it for TV you're obviously allowed back in the tunnel then for all the interviews. You have access down there. Whenever the game's finished, he's always in the tunnel. He's all around that tunnel area, obviously, with the lads and the manager. Right in the middle of it.
Absolutely would not like that.
But it's like it'll be like that for day one for him, so it'll be the norm, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But
makes me realise I'm really lucky like that. Like our owner, like I check all the people. They just respect the fact that look, this is where the gladiators work, as it were. You know, this is their domain, and we'll speak to them when they come out. Brilliant, really lucky like that. But I've been a player at football clubs where you've seen too many people who shouldn't be there hanging around thinking, "What?" It's
always a red flag, isn't it?
Always, yeah. And it's there's a common denominator. It's when clubs are like up and down, all over the place, left and right. You're like,
when they come in before the game and give you a team talk. afterwards and stuff like that.
Give you a team talk.
Yeah, no, it's. I think in a big game, like I sort of like, because our owner is like, pretty sort of elite guy. If he comes in and gives the lads a little bit of motivational, he's not going to sit there and go, right, this is how we're going to play today. But if he comes in and goes, look, you've done brilliant, and we're all
What a
really
way you
proud
win
of
if you win this game.
Yeah.
Brown envelopes everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, if he's saying that, I've got him straight in there.
But it's something. If the chairman ever wants to do that, it's hard as a manager to say no, isn't it? Because your boss pays your wages.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I've got a CEO, chairman, an honorary chairman. I've got my owner. Like, if they say jump,
if he turns around and says, Gav, I want to do the team talk today.
Well,
Okay,
to
Mr.
be fair,
Chair,
you've got a decision then, haven't you? You've got a decision.
4-3-3.
And like, truth is, like, they would never do that. But you've got a decision, haven't you? And the decision would be, well, no, that's my domain.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm sorry, that can't happen.
Have they ever questioned, not so much when you're, I suppose, recruitment, things like that, but team selection and stuff after a game, if you've lost or something like that, have they ever said, why didn't you play him today? Or did you think about playing this show?
No, they've just been really, really supportive.
Any clubs you've been at?
My first year that I went there, I had a meeting with owner, chairman at the time, the CEO, and there was a little bit of pokey proddery, is he going to be good enough? Is he
You say it's down that early doors.
Yeah, I just set my stall out, just went, look, you've got me here for a reason. So look, I know what I'm talking about. I hope you'll find out by the end of the season. And there's never been even then, it wasn't even questioning me. It was literally do you think? And again, it was them finding out about me as well. They needed to trust me. At that time, they're going, can we trust this idiot? Yeah, does he know what he's talking about? I mean, it looks very good at the moment, but at the time we were destroying teams, but just couldn't score. Yeah. A little bit like what's happening at the moment. So they're going, oh yeah, and I was like, listen, just trust me. And obviously they did. And that's, why we've got such a good relationship. But yeah, they've never once tried to interfere in anything that I'm doing. And again, it'd be red flag for a manager, wouldn't it? Manager then's got a decision to go, well, and I would be like, well, no, this is my job. You're paying me to do X, Y, and Z. I'm going to do it. If you're going to interfere, we've got to go out on my sword, haven't we? If we're going to go out, hopefully we won't.
Yeah.
We don't know about you yet. What have you been up to?
I'm off on holiday.
Yeah, we know. You said about 20 times.
Been working hard. Again, Monday to Friday. So, like I've said before, I'm not available for podcasts. So you get Tuesday afternoon. At 1
so you get weekends off
for golf. 1 o'clock on a Wednesday.
So you get full weekends off. You've got no commitments on a weekend.
Off, yeah.
Wow, imagine that. It'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
You might get that soon.
Yeah, you never know. Please God, no. But school good. Everything good your end.
Everything's good. Busy, same as you two. But really busy, proper busy, seriously busy.
Yeah.
So you're still
a few weeks off now, don't you? You got extra week this afternoon, haven't you? So
is it for a head teacher then? Obviously, we've picked on football manager, and we know with business and Dave.
Yeah, it's totally different though, isn't it? Because you haven't got what you've got, the highs and lows. You have good days and bad days, and you're busy. But yours is so public, isn't it? Week to week, isn't it? There's no hiding place. You can say, "Oh, I'm doing a great job." I can say, "I'm doing a great job." You can go, "I'm doing a great job," but.
No one check if you're doing
it. Unless you come into my school and you have a look, and even then it's hard to judge what's happening. But
in essence, though, it sort of proves my point a little bit, because I assume, and you better tell me if it's different, you would set out certain targets for the year, whether they be hard, and so you don't get too emotional. If let's say we go, okay, for this child, we're expecting them to achieve X, Y, and Z. So if by the end of autumn 1. The first half term, if they're not hitting, you don't all of a sudden go, right, rip it up, start again.
You just have a look. It's the same though. You reflect, don't you, on yourself, and you think, what are the priorities? What can we do better? What needs to improve? And it's it's dealing with people, isn't it? The inconsistencies of people all the time. But I think it's totally different to football, in that football is so intense and is an absolute roller coaster, and you can be on top of the world. And then, like we said, 8 days later, you're like, what's just happened there? Then another 8 days, you're back again. It's brilliant. And people love the story in football, don't they? It's never it's just doing okay. No. No one's interested in doing okay. When Liverpool beat Man U, the first person they look at is Slot, because they try and show people under pressure, don't they?
Yeah, they like failure and pressure rather than say, Man United played well, didn't they?
Yeah,
they're looking better under Amorim.
So the headlines now are Forest is a mess, Liverpool are crumbling. That's the big stories. Not Man U have picked up or whatever.
Yeah.
It's the negatives, don't they?
Yeah, it's society at the moment. It's annoying,
isn't it?
Annoying. Focus on a positive.
Yeah. Well, So that's it then. We're back.
Is everyone going to be watching Brackley Town versus Notts County on the 1st, 5:30, BBC Two?
Is it?
BBC Two.
BBC Two.
BBC,
Yeah.
definitely then.
Yeah.
Is it at Brackley?
At Brackley.
Right, well,
Yeah, I think
might be good.
You might be there.
Might be good.
Yeah. But yeah, just if everyone's listening, if
I'm gonna
everyone
go
wants
down
to
and watch
tune
that.
in or even come down and support
What, you
your
gonna-
second team.
Have you got an outfit ready for that? For BBC?
Yeah, I've ordered my outfit from
Right,
Arne.
you've got chinos, black.
Yeah, spray on chinos.
Can't wear the
Arnie
cream
is
down
Under
in the
Armour.
winter, can
Arnie
you?
have started sponsoring podcasts, haven't they?
Yeah, seen that.
Who have?
Yeah,
Arnie.
Arne. Yeah.
Arnie, the,
How come have they been in touch with us?
they might have done. I haven't checked the inbox
Check
recently.
the inbox.
Yeah, Wits.
I presume they would. I presume they would have.
Wits, they've not been in touch?
I presume they would have as being their
Surprise.
most valued customers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
but it's a great shout, my
Tainer
outfit.
away at South Shields, aren't they? They're away.
It won't be good.
Yeah, we're
with
not
that.
good now.
Okay, Brackley it is then.
Great to be back anyway. I
Right.
love that.
Cheers,
Enjoyed
Thanks for
it.
listening, everybody.
Join us in a few weeks' time, and we'll.
We're going week to week, aren't we? I mean,
Week to week, back
one a
to
week.
back.
Yeah.
We'll be weekly, won't we?
The big shout
Wits
from
is
listeners.
laughing. We'll
Yeah.
be weekly. We'll be weekly for 2 weeks.
We're going to aim for one a week because the big feedback from listeners was, look, once every fortnight isn't enough. You need to do one a
People
week.
missing it, weren't they?
And you got to have a bit of continuity. You forget what happened 2 weeks ago. Or I did.
Habit,
I forget what happened 2 days ago.
Yeah, I agree.
Are we still going to do an autumn budget breakdown for one of the episodes?
What?
The panic.
Oh, no.
That's what Rachel Reeves brings to the table.
Yeah. Definitely do that. That'd be great
Thanks for
viewing.
listening, everybody.
Cheers, everyone.
Bye bye.